All right, let's examine this quote unquote new code I put in here. So we have in my shape. So we go back to the fact that take my shape is a subclass of shape 2, and I added a new. You see, we have our data, height, base, and all that now, and name or shape name or whatever. Have a new instance variable called shapes created, and as a matter of fact, I initialize it with a value already. I have 4. So what'll happen is here are our pieces of data or our fields or our instance variables. We have shapes created, base, height, and shape name or string shape. And right now I have triangle. And we have a constructor here, new triangle. All right. Now what we do here is in the method, we have shapes created, and this will increment the shapes created by 1. And it starts at 4. So let's go ahead and run the file. We see here, new triangle. It occurs once. Okay, because that is the constructor in action, new triangle. The area is now, let's follow the logic here. It actually runs my triangle calc triangle first. So we create a variable called my triangle. It's a reference variable referring to my shape. And my triangle dot calc triangle it will equal 0.5 because we're relying on the default created values of 1.0 and 1.0, so that area is going to be half. I then overwrite the local variable for shape as my triangle, and I overwrite the base as 40, height is 450.0, and so the next one is the area of the triangle is 9,000. I then run my triangle, I then overwrite the height value of 80, and I run my triangle again. And we see that the area of my triangle now is 1,600. I then overwrite the height this time by 10, and the triangle area now is 200. And you can see the shapes created increments by 1. But wait a second, we're starting at 4. What if I wanted to get in there and before everything even started, I wanted to overwrite this with a 0 before everything even got started, before anything else was instantiated. So let's go ahead and try to do that. Let me go here, and before we instantiate it, let's do my shape, and I don't want to instantiate it. Let's do the dotted operator, and right now I have no visibility at all inside the shape, inside my shape, which is, taking a look at this, a subclass of shape 2. I'm not trying to initiate my shape 2. I'm trying to initiate my I don't want to look at anything inside my shape. I want to see if I can see anything in my shape before I instantiate it, and I cannot. Okay, the only way I can get visibility on anything is if I instantiate it first here, and then if I say my triangle and use the dotted decimal point here, I can get to shapes created. Okay, I can say shapes created. And I could try to say that equals 0. Okay, and let's try to run it. Oh, it would be nice if I put in a semicolon. Let me try to run it. And now that I overrode shapes created equals 4 with shapes created equals 0, it does start off at 1, 2, 3, 4, which just makes sense. But wait a second. The problem with this is I have to instantiate it first. Okay? Let me go back here. I have to instantiate it first, and you have to use the new command to instantiate it. But why can't I just go, why can't I just do this? Why can't I just do my shape dot, and then the only thing, I can't do anything. There's nothing here that I can do it with. I have to instantiate it, and I don't want to instantiate it. So let's do this. Let's save my space here. Let's make it so that I can touch this without instantiating it. How do I do that? I add the static keyword. And now, once I add the static keyword, let's do my shape dot, and look at that. I now have access to shapes created. And I'll say shapes created equals 0. Now let me try to run it. And it runs one shapes created 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so the idea is that because of the static keyword, I now have visibility to any member, to just, well, I don't want to say any member, just the member that I have prefixed the static command with. I have visibility before instantation. Okay, and as you can see right now, it's useful because it might be policy to start your games at 4, but let's say I wanted a little bit more of a playing field, and I wanted to start the games at 0 so we can count from 1, not instead of counting from 5. Okay, what else can I do? Let's say my shape, I don't have access to the shape instance variable, so let's put this as static. And let's see, what else do I have access to now? Anyone want to take a bet? And now I have access to shape equals, let's do number 8 triangle. And let's see what happens here. And new triangle, the area of my triangle is 9,000. Okay. Okay, it did not, and as you can see, the first time it did overwrite it because we have my triangle and the area of number 8 triangle is 0.5. And you can see the reason why it changed to my triangle thereafter is because it changed it after it was instantiated. Okay, so but you can see if we can get to it prior to it being instantiated, okay, it will not be overridden once, and then all the rest will take over. Okay, so that is the power of the static keyword. Okay, now again, let's do static double. Okay, let's make that, let's do static double, base equals 1.0, and let's go back here, and my shape dot, let's use the dotted, we're using the dotted operator here. We now have access to base before it's been instantiated, and let's do 800. Okay, let's run it. And the area of number 8 triangle is 400. And then we go back with, after it's been instantiated, everything else takes over. So that is the power of static.